Welcome back, everyone. In today's Explainer, we're diving into a fascinating topic that honestly touches almost every single one of us in some way. We are talking about the cultural fantasy of hitting the millionaire finish line and the hidden struggles of wealth that come with it. You know, we're told our whole lives that crossing that seven-figure threshold is the ultimate ticket to freedom, happiness, and just total peace of mind. It's framed as the absolute finish line. But the truth? Arriving at this goal rarely feels the way people expect. The reality of wealth, as it turns out, is infinitely more complex and often a whole lot heavier than those daydreams we have about it.
Just look at this stat. According to recent surveys, roughly 66%, that's 2 out of every 3 American millionaires, do not actually consider themselves wealthy. I really want you to let that sink in for a second. We aren't talking about people who are almost wealthy or getting there. We're talking about people who have mathematically hit the exact number our entire culture treats as the absolute finish line. And yet, the vast majority of them still don't feel like they finished anything at all.
So I got to ask you a question directly, and I want you to really think about it. What happens when the finish line is a mirage? What happens to your brain, your motivation, and your overall well-being when you spend decades sprinting toward a very specific financial target only to cross it and realize the ribbon just disappeared? Today, we're going to explore the psychological reality of chasing a moving financial target and why adding more zeros to your bank account often creates a completely new, totally unpredicted set of struggles.
Okay, let's dive into this. There is a massive gap between the math and our mindset. The literal definition of a millionaire is, of course, a net worth of $1 million. But if you ask Americans today how much money it actually takes to be considered wealthy, the average answer jumps to a staggering $2.3 million. That is literally more than double what the word millionaire means. We have completely decoupled the mathematical milestone from the actual psychological feeling of wealth.
And here is exactly why that gap exists. The finish line moves at the exact pace you do. It's this psychological phenomenon known as the moving goalpost. For instance, surveys show the average person believes it takes around $800,000 just to feel financially comfortable. But study after study finds that this number never stays fixed. When someone earning $50,000 reaches their initial goal of $500,000, they don't stop and celebrate. No, they suddenly find themselves eyeing $2 million. The closer you get to the number you thought would fix everything, the more that number multiplies in your mind.
Section 1. The happiness data unpacked. Let's look at the real numbers here.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it shatters a popular myth. You've probably heard the widely circulated idea that money absolutely stops making you happier after you hit about $75,000 a year. It's a comforting thought, right? Well, a groundbreaking 2023 collaboration between researchers Kahneman and Killingsworth revealed a really clear split in the data. For the vast majority of people, happiness actually does keep rising with income well beyond 6 figures with no visible ceiling. More money genuinely helps them. But for a specific unhappy minority, a group of people who are already struggling emotionally, happiness rose only up to around $100,000 and then entirely flatlined. The data proves that for this specific group, their unhappiness was never a money problem to begin with. No amount of extra income was ever going to fix whatever's actually hurting them inside.
Section 2. The boring reality of wealth. Because honestly, it's surprisingly mundane.
We really have to dismantle the whole music video fantasy of what wealth looks like. We are constantly bombarded with images of private jets, spontaneous luxury, and these massive risks paying off overnight. But out in the real world, surveys consistently find that the overwhelming majority of American millionaires, around 80% of them, built their wealth entirely themselves. They didn't inherit it. And when you ask them to describe themselves, they don't identify as massive risk takers or aggressive mavericks, not at all. They identify as highly disciplined, methodical financial planners. The people actually holding the wealth are the ones who planned for it, slowly and carefully.
The actual path to becoming a millionaire is aggressively unglamorous. It essentially comes down to these 3 very basic steps: steady saving, running boring everyday businesses, and decades of consistent investing. There are literally no shortcuts here, and honestly, it's about as thrilling as watching paint dry. For almost everyone who actually walks this path, it is completely devoid of flashy highlight reels. It is just a long, slow march of compounding interest and delayed gratification.
But even after walking that long path and hitting the millionaire mark, there is a bizarre emotional contradiction that occurs, and it all comes down to liquidity. Liquidity is simply the ability to quickly convert your assets into spendable cash without friction or penalties. A lot of millionaires find themselves in the very strange, kind of stressful position of being incredibly rich on a financial spreadsheet while still sweating over a high grocery bill or the price of filling up their gas tank.
And this brilliantly illustrates why that happens. Millionaire wealth is almost always trapped wealth. Their net worth isn't just sitting in a checking account ready to be spent on a whim. It's tied up in home equity, retirement accounts with severe early withdrawal penalties, or business ownership stakes that can't easily be liquidated. Paper wealth doesn't pay for dinner, right? Because their money is highly illiquid, many millionaires actually have a lot less accessible cash on hand than you would ever guess.
Section 3. The hidden psychological costs. Let's talk about the heavier burdens of wealth.
Because the human brain is hardwired for survival, it outright refuses to ignore threats. When your net worth grows, your brain doesn't just relax. It actively starts scanning for new ways you might lose everything you just spent decades building. Having more to lose creates this strange, creeping paranoia. Even highly prepared, financially secure millionaires report very real, persistent anxieties. They worry deeply about outliving their savings, navigating massive, unpredictable healthcare costs in retirement, and managing heavy tax burdens. The financial anxiety doesn't disappear when you hit millions, it just changes shape. Statistically, yeah, they're more prepared for retirement than the general public, but more prepared and worry-free are two entirely different emotional states.
And then there's the unmeasured social cost of wealth. As net worth increases, a very isolating reality sets in. It gets much harder to know who actually likes you versus who likes what you can do for them. Suddenly, acquaintances are approaching you with requests for loans, investment opportunities, or favors. Genuine, uncomplicated relationships start requiring deliberate, exhausting effort to maintain. It can lead to an unexpected and profound social isolation that nobody ever warned you about when you're busy climbing the ladder.
Section 4. Finding your actual enough. What is your real finish line?
With all these hidden struggles, the moving goalposts, the trapped cash, the anxiety, the isolation, we really have to face the ultimate dark truth about what money can actually fix. Look, money is a tool, and it is phenomenally good at solving money problems. It buys housing, food, security, and healthcare. But it completely and utterly fails to solve identity problems. Hitting a specific net worth number will not quiet the internal noise. It will not cure the deep-seated fear of not being enough as a person. If you are chasing millions to fix a broken sense of self, you're going to arrive at the finish line and realize the exact same problems are waiting for you right there.
So the crucial point is this: when you look at the people who report actually feeling secure and genuinely happy at high net worths, they all share one vital trait. They defined what enough meant to them before they got there. They decided their own internal finish line. They didn't leave that number to be dictated by lifestyle creep, marketing, or whoever they happen to be standing next to at a dinner party. They anchored their identity first, and they let the money serve that identity.
And one of this explainer is an argument against building wealth. Financial security is highly worth pursuing, and it measurably reduces massive amounts of practical, everyday stress. But this is the golden rule you absolutely have to take away today. Don't expect a number to do a non-number job. A bank balance cannot deliver an emotional state of fulfillment, self-worth, or genuine love. Those things, they have to be built entirely on their own terms. Which leaves us with the most important question of all, and one I want you to carry with you long after this explainer is over. What does enough mean to you? If the goalpost only stops moving when you decide where it stops, where are you planting it? Think deeply about what you actually expect to feel when you get there. If this explainer changed how you think about the number you are chasing, I really want you to reflect on it. And hey, if you're interested in a follow-up on exactly how self-made individuals systematically define their enough, stick around for our future explainers. Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you next time.